Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the American Public University System Symposium. My name is Stephen Wilkes, and today I'm going to share with you a presentation on current science knowledge in support of popular science writing. We will first talk about the selected book for today's presentation, followed by a deep dive into the 6 parts of that book, and wrapped up with a conclusion and a references page. The book chosen for this presentation is Saving a Million Species: Extinction Risk from Climate Change. This book was written in 2011 and expands on the 2004 research paper, Extinction Risk from Climate Change. In 2004, when this paper was released, it turned heads throughout the scientific community worldwide and continues to be relevant to this day. The 2011 book was edited by Lee Hanna and combined contributions from over 30 other lead scientists and researchers. Part 1 of the book reintroduces the 2004 research paper to the reader. Chris Thomas, lead author of the paper, discusses in this part how extinction events are not brief. Like Thomas, current science uses 2050 as a threshold for irreparable damage to our planet if drastic change does not occur with respect to fossil fuel dependence. Part 2 takes aim at updating modeling methods and other scientific advancements since the release of the 2004 paper. In this part, Alison Cameron notes that the mid-century emissions predictions used by Thomas in 2004 may have been too conservative, and that those predictions are more consistent with what we might actually see as soon as 2033. Part 3 focuses on the effects climate change is having on current extinctions. Among other topics, Chapter 8 looks at climate change's effects on the polar bear. Loss of sea ice due to climate change presents unique challenges for the polar bear and ice-dependent species. Post and Brody noted that decline in population sizes could be between 30 and 70% by 2050. And a recent study confirms this risk and points out that the entire species could be on the brink of extinction by 2100. Part 4 studies the correlation between past climatic events and historical extinctions. Both direct impacts and indirect impacts are discussed in Chapter 11. One indirect impact climate change can have on a species is the mismatching of life history timing, or its phenology. Current research confirms this concern. The great tit bird population may be forced to breed earlier in the year due to lack of food availability as a result of climate change. Part 5 looks ahead at potential extinctions in the future. One interesting topic in Chapter 18 is the threat of cascading extinctions. A 2018 experiment at Exeter University set out to study these cascading extinction events within a community of insects. The researchers removed one species of wasp and witnessed extinctions in insect species not directly linked to the wasp. They called these secondary extinctions. In Part 6, Lee Hanna closes out the book with a call to action. Of course, climate change policy is of utmost importance, but so is adaptation actions vital to preparing for future climate change and habitat loss. I conclude today's presentation by pointing out the scientific relevance of both the research paper from 2004 and Saving a Million Species a decade later. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'm happy to field any questions you may have.